So there's two ways you're going to win. And I'm just letting you know right now, the winning team is going to be richly rewarded, all right? You don't, like, you want to win this. And so mid-school, what you're going to do then is after you make yours, you're going to go do everybody else's. And so whoever does the best on that as well, taking score of your mini golf score, that team will get extra points as well. But you're really getting judged on how awesome your course is. So if 6th grade guys lay out 2 straight boxes and just make a little hole there, you're not going to win anything, all right? I want to see some windmills, some whatever we got. We want to look for some creative stuff. And so it's going to be fun, and I'm letting you guys know that now so that mid-school leaders try to carve out 5, 6, 7 minutes later on to start thinking like, hey, what if we could build something with cardboard for a mini golf hole? What do you think that could start looking like? And so for those of you that like to draw and mess around while your teacher's talking to you, I'm not saying you should do that during class, but if you happen to start just making little doodles, bring them with you, and we'll see who can come up with something creative with that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Keep that in mind, and then you'll go home Saturday night after Glowtober. High school, you will stay for an overnighter if you choose. Now, at the parent meeting today, there will be a overnight permission slip. You will not be allowed to stay overnight if your parents don't sign that. Your friends will not be allowed to stay the night on Saturday night high school if they don't sign that. And so there's going to be some late night stuff there, some games and some other stuff going on, and then you'll spend the night here. We'll go to church all together Sunday morning. So that's kind of, I want to clarify all of that fun stuff there. That's all of our important stuff. Yeah, no, there is one more slide. Thank you, Jay. We have our corn maze. I saw your hand. I put that up there, though. Corn maze and Jay, is this correct, Jay and Kelly? I don't remember the price. All right, so we want to leave the church. So high school, this is high school corn maze. October 16th, that's next Saturday. We want to leave at 6 p.m., so you need to be here before then. We're leaving at 6 p.m., back by 10 p.m. Is that the right price? I couldn't. Kelly, do you remember the price to get into the corn maze? Okay. So, yeah, like $10 is going to get you in, and there's concession stand and stuff there, so $10 to $20 is what you'll need. So high school, that's for you. Bring a friend to that. We'll meet outside the parking lot up here. We're leaving by 6 p.m., so try to get there and have some fun with that. Always a good time. Be here Wednesday night, guys. We had a fun XL night. No one got hurt playing dodgeball, kickball. I'm just saying that for the record. Everybody told me, turn the lights on or someone's going to get hurt. Only minor bumps and bruises. So we had a great time. If you brought a friend to Exodus XL, and they had a good time, encourage them. Hey, come back with me. Exodus is every Wednesday night. Encourage them to come on back. It was an awesome, awesome time. So that's all of our fun, exciting announcements. We do not have Will today. So I tried to do puns with Logan, but he said nope. So we will skip that. That's just for Will. And we're going to play a little game. And today's prizes are brought to you by Livy's birthday. She had a birthday last night, and we have some cupcakes that were not open. So this is Livy Cram's birthday cupcakes. The winning team will get cupcakes for your group. Very simple here. All you're going to do is I am just going to pick someone from a grade. There's going to be a little picture up there, and you have to guess what movie you think the picture represents. Very clear? Easy? Easy enough? Okay, now, you have to, before we show, so Logan, before they show the picture, I need someone that thinks they can guess it. If you get it wrong, we'll go on to the next person, all right? So, anybody? Well, that's not going to work because then never mind. Go ahead and show the first slide. Hands down, hands down, hands down. Whoever stands up first gets to guess. Yes, Stuart Little. That is correct. We got 1 point for 6th grade girls. 6th grade girls, a point on the board. All right, let's go to the next one. Yes. Huh? No. Sit down. You don't even know. Anybody? Come on. Nope. Flip. Not you. Yes. Nope. Anybody else? Come on. Oh, once the answer is given. Yes. The Dark Knight. That's right. Batman movie. The Dark Knight. Good job. Sixth grade girls? Sixth grade girls get 2 points. Sixth grade girls on 2. What do we got? Yes. Chicken Run. Is that a movie? It's a movie? Like a cartoon type? Okay. Chicken Run. Good job. Junior boys on the board here. All right. Yes. Rocky. That's right, McKiss. Guys, that was an easy one. Come on. 8th grade men on the board. Race. Back to the Future. Good job, Ray. 7th grade guys. 7th grade guys get the point. Just think. Think. I know, right? No, Dwayne. You're not. You got to stand up. Yes, Casey. Huh? Cap. What? Was he already up before? What did you say? Nope. What'd you say? Captain America. That is right. Got timeout. He already said the answer quietly earlier. I already heard him yell it, but they said he had to stand up first, so I was letting him get a guess. All right. Who stood up? Because if I go with who they're pointing to, I'm going to get yelled at for favoritism or something here. This is, Judge, is any adults see who stood up first? All right, I'm taking your word, Stephanie Graham. This is not on me. What do you say, Avery? Ant-Man, that is right. Junior girls. Hold on, slow down. I'll make sure. So we got 2 for 6th grade girls, 1 junior girl, 1 7th grade guy. Casey, you're in 8th grade, right? 2 for 8th grade guys, 1 junior guy, 1 junior girl. All right. Woo. All right, here we go. Yes. Wally, that is correct. 6th grade guys. Oh, boy. Hold on. How many more are there? 2? Okay, here we go. This is my favorite one. If you get it wrong, you lose your point. Yes. Men in Black. Look. The men is in between. Yeah. 3 for 8th grade guys. What's up? All right. 6th grade girls, you need the tie on this one. Yes. Star Wars. That is correct. Okay. Was that the tiebreaker or is there one more? That was the tiebreaker? So we have 6th grade girls and 8th grade guys. All right. Good thing for you, we have holiday cookies as well. So, these were good till November. I could have stretched these out for a while. All right. 6th grade girls, which ones do you want, cupcakes or cookies? They want cupcakes. 8th grade guys will get cookies. We'll do all of that as you go to groups. We won't do it right now. So we'll hook you up. Leaders, you guys will grab these after. Hey, we are starting a brand new series, so check out this video, and then as Andrew comes up to teach us, we'll go off to some small groups. Don't forget, we got parent meeting here right after service, so make sure your parents get straight down here. Guys, let's have a good morning. Do we got that video in there, sir? All right, thank you.
What's up? How's everybody doing? So we're starting a new series. As you can see, it's called the Upside Down Kingdom. And this series is just going to deal with completely the way that you guys can live. This is the bottom line of this series. The way that you guys can live can turn the world upside down. And in small groups today, you guys are just going to have kind of a conversation recognizing the way that you think about power and authority right now. And hopefully that time will challenge you to kind of rethink your perceptions of power and authority in light of Jesus's example. So I'm excited to get to teach today. I haven't gotten to do that in a while. So how many of you have ever had like a position of authority or power at all? Yeah? So when I was in high school, is Quentin here today? Quentin Epping? No? Okay. I didn't know if he made it or not. When I was in high school, my junior and senior year, I got to be an office aide for like the head principal, which was Dr. Finley at the time. Then he went even to bigger and better things, became superintendent, and now he's living it up in retirement, I guess. So I got to be one of his office aides, and actually Quentin's mom and dad, Jessica and Corey Epping, she was not Epping at the time, they got to do that too. So it was an awesome gig as a high schooler because I didn't go to class. I just went and spent an hour a day, every day, in the principal's office, but not in a bad way. I got to just do whatever the heck I wanted to do. I could go around the school wherever I wanted to go. We would take things to teachers. They had this awesome back room of people that would send stuff. They would just send like boxes of stuff for like to pass out to students, and we could just go through it and take whatever we wanted. It was awesome. Except for the Axe body spray, that was terrible. It smelled awful. I loved having this ability just to kind of do and be wherever I wanted to be when everybody else in school had to be like in their classes or had very specific places. I just had free reign. We would hang out and have a good time. But power looks different for everybody, right? For you, power might look like being the one who can captivate a group of people with a story, be the center of attention. Or it might be the power to influence what your friend group does over the weekend, or to influence how you handle the drama that pops up in that group of friends. Maybe power looks like having a later curfew, or finally getting your driver's license or driver's permits, right, Whitties? Or maybe you have an idea of the kind of power that you want, but you just don't have it yet. So think about this for a second. Maybe you dreamt of being captain of your sports team. Maybe you wanted to be the first chair in your band. Maybe you thought about running for president of student council. Maybe you're a freshman or a sophomore right now, and you can just imagine the kind of power that comes with being an upperclassman as a junior or senior. Maybe you're a sixth grader right now, and you're imagining how cool it's going to be, the power that comes with being an eighth grader, being the big dog in your school. Maybe you look, maybe if you're in high school and you're working, maybe you took a risk at asking or trying or applying to be the manager of your shift at work. The idea of being in a place of power or authority, which is just someone who has more power than you do, can be really exciting. It can make you feel important, respected, or even intimidating to others. And sometimes that's kind of a fun feeling to have, right? Having power gives us a sense of having a little bit of control over something. And who doesn't want that, right? So if we're honest with ourselves, we'd all like to feel powerful because it puts us in control or above someone else. But if you have ever been in a place of power in your life, you know that it doesn't always go the way that you really imagined, right? Like, even if you have it, there's always going to be someone else who has more power than you. All the time. No matter how high of a ladder you climb, there's always going to be someone above you. Maybe, you aren't always sure what to do with that power sometimes when you get it. And it isn't always as great as you think it's going to be, because there's always responsibilities that come with power that you weren't really anticipating and maybe aren't even ready to handle yet. And that leaves us with some complicated feelings about power and the people who have it and those who don't, and about why we want it and what to do with it once we do have it. And maybe we feel like it just never quite turns out the way that we think it should. In other words, competing for and then gaining power is complicated. So what do we do about it? Power and authority have been around from the beginning. And it wasn't designed to be as complicated as it sometimes feels. So grab your Bibles. The opening part of the Bible is called Genesis. Genesis also means origin. So this book of origins, who people believe was written by Moses, is about the creation of all things. I don't know what is going on over there, but chill out. Thank you. So this book of origins, who people believe was written by Moses, is about the creation of all things, including human beings, us. And in it, I don't know, can somebody just go over there and handle whoever keeps talking over here? Ladies in the front, Meadow, Chloe, thank you. Thank you. So, now I'm all kind of mixed up. So it includes the creation of the origins of the power that human beings have. And in it is written something incredibly important when it comes to our ideas of authority or power. So we're going to read in Genesis chapter 1. It's an easy book to find. First book of your Bible. Look up Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And it says, I'll just read it from the screen. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image and our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all of the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So that line right in there that says, "so that they may rule," in the second line there, was written about us. It was written about human beings from the very beginning. And according to the writer, humans were literally put on this planet and given power and authority over the rest of creation. Humans, you guys and myself, were designed by God to have traits of God. That's what it means to have God's image in us. And it's with God's image and likeness in us that we are to demonstrate and practice authority. Sounds pretty great, right? Fast forward that to today, and it's easy to see how humans have used power and authority for good in a lot of ways. But it's also easy to see the way that humans have also turned things upside down from how they were originally intended to be. So power has been used to liberate or help and oppress or harm entire groups of people. Power's been used to bring peace and start wars that have wiped out millions. Power's been used to create resources that meet people's needs, but it's also been used irresponsibly in lots of cases. So even though power was part of the deal at creation, humans haven't always used it well. But that is not the case with Jesus. Jesus turned the idea of power upside down on itself. Jesus flipped the idea of power upside down in a way that people did not expect or know what to do with it. He did things way differently than the religious leaders of his times. Where other leaders fought to be seen as increasingly powerful and putting others down, Jesus chose to do the opposite of that. Not only that, he did something none of them could pull off. He was killed by those leaders because they didn't like the way that he did things. But in a big power flex, he came back to life. And in fact, just so that there were no questions, Jesus actually made it very clear what kind of power that he had when he said in Matthew chapter 28, verse 18, he says, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me." I mean, there's really no room for questions when it comes to Jesus' authority. He's like, hey, just in case you were wondering, after the whole coming back to life thing that I just pulled off, I've been given all authority over everything. This is good news because it means that he is the perfect example of what being powerful really looks like. So Jesus could have used his power to put down or oppress other people, but he used it to do things that people did not expect of him. He set out to create an upside-down kingdom where power was used in the way that God had always planned and intended for it. In a culture that was used to things being a certain way, it was upside down that he used his power to show that he honored and valued women, to prove that he wasn't okay with corrupt and evil systems, to heal people who were sick, to hang out with outcasts in society, to forgive people who had wronged him, and to include people who most powerful people completely ignored. He never used his power to make others feel small. He never used it to hurt others. He never used it to oppress others. His is an example of power being turned upside down. But it's also the picture of power used perfectly. No matter what your experience has been with people in authority, or whether you have or haven't handled power so well yourself, Jesus' example shows us how power is supposed to be used and what it's supposed to look like. He has all authority, and he is an authority that we can follow and model when we are given a little bit of power ourselves. He shows us what power and authority is. He shows us what power and authority in an upside-down kingdom can look like and should look like. Jesus turned the idea of power completely upside down. So what does this mean for you and me, and as we kind of go through life trying to figure out this power thing? Well, really, the place that we can start is by choosing to rethink the way that we think about power and authority. Why? Because whether we're people who push back against the authority in our lives or people who are looking for opportunities to gain more power than we currently have, chances are that we've seen or used power in a way that doesn't reflect the way that God intended for it to be. So by rethinking it, we can choose to look to Jesus' example of authority and the way that God has always intended for power and authority to be used. If you're ready to take a new approach to the way that you think about authority, here are a couple of ways to start. Number one, think about Jesus. Before going after power or going against the people who have authority over you, we should think about the things that we just talked about that Jesus said and he did. We should ask ourselves, what made Jesus a good authority figure? And how did he use his power? Then we'll better be able to know what to do when we are given power of any kind. We'll also know the kinds of authority figures that are worth following. Then once you've thought about Jesus' example, you can rethink how you use the power that you do have. Chances are you have at least some power and influence in your life right now. Think about ways that you can leverage that power for good. Maybe you can be the one to invite the loner kid at the school into the conversation with you and your friends. Maybe you can use your influence to stop the joke when someone else is being hurt by it. Maybe you can be the person who put an end to the gossip and shuts down rumors from continuing and furthering on. Don't just talk about it in small group. Be about it in real life. The next thing is rethink about the authority figures in your own life. Take some time to think about the coaches, the teachers, the parents, the small group leaders, the bosses, whoever else seems to have some kind of power in your life. Think about those people right now. You can probably come up with a list of leaders that you think, man, good, that use their influence for good, and some that really abuse that. Maybe you love the way that they use their power. Maybe you don't. Either way, learn to look for the good. Look for the positive things in who they are and the way that they use the authority that they have. Maybe they believe deeply in your potential. Maybe they defend you when you need it the most. Maybe they've taught you valuable life lessons. The truth is that authority can and always will be annoying at times. But when you think about the example that Jesus gave us, and you line it up with the ways that people around you use their power, are there things that match up between the two? By rethinking about the authorities in your own life, you can change the way that you see them, or even change the way that you treat those with power moving forward. Now, just to be clear, this does not mean that you should ignore the reality of harmful authority or the harmful ways that people use their power. There's a difference between authority that's annoying and authority that's harmful. You might be annoyed that your mom is using her power to ask you to take out the trash, but she's not a bad person for doing that, right? In fact, she's using her power to teach you responsibility, as lame as that might feel at the time. But anyone who uses their power in ways that are harmful to you, that are harmful to someone else or themselves, is not using authority in ways that align with Jesus' example. In fact, Jesus spoke against this kind of authority time and time again throughout Scripture. Remember, Jesus turned the idea of power upside down and used his authority and his power for the good of other people, to help them feel free from oppression and to benefit those who he had power over. So if you're experiencing the use of powerful and harmful ways, the best thing to do is to speak up about that. In fact, my hope is that this group of people in this room is the safest place in the world for you to talk about anything. So say something if you are in a position where authority is being used in harmful ways. So, where do we land this? Yes, we might get annoyed with those in authority. We might even find ourselves wanting power in ways that might be beneficial. But we can be confident in Jesus, or in that Jesus, we can be confident that in Jesus we have a perfect example of the way power and authority were intended to be used. And he used power in an upside down way. So as we go about our day-to-day lives, and as we get older and find ourselves in positions of authority, more often we can choose to rethink the way that we think about power and authority. And when we do, we may see our perspectives on people like our parents, our guardians, our bosses, our teachers, our coaches. Our perspective on them can change. And when we look for the good in our teachers, we may find that our class gets a little bit better. When we see our coaches in a positive light, we may find ourselves running a little bit harder and less tempted to kind of talk behind their backs. When we see the ways that our parents have sacrificed for us, taking out the trash won't feel so annoying anymore. The way that we think about authority can actually change how we experience authority and how people in authority interact with us. Plus, we'll have a better picture of what good authority is supposed to be like when we're in positions of authority and power someday. So why not start to rethink the way that you think about authority and power today? As you head into a small group today, think about your answer to this question. When you think about power, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Pray with me. God, thanks for your... God, I just thank you for your example, your perfect example of how we should use the responsibilities that you've put in front of us. God, I pray that as we continue to grow and learn in this life, God, that we can continue to figure out ways of looking to you as an example of how we should be. God, as we gain power and responsibility over people, God, that we don't use it for our benefit, but we use it for the benefit of you. God, I pray for the conversations that we're going to have in small groups today. God, I pray that these students can start thinking about their perspectives on power and authority. And God, I just pray that we have great conversation today, and we thank you for being in this place today. Amen. All right, you're dismissed to your groups.